My first project were private houses. I did my own house in Barcelona in a very dense historical center, and I did two projects in fact in the middle 90s, and they were, I think, important in order to confirm that I would be an architect. But in fact, I has not been lucky because I really would like to be able to experiment with the scale of the private houses. That is an environment where many architects on the history of architecture did many different experiments. And on the other hand, what I am doing now is projects more related with small pavilions for park design and other things that could be thought as kind of domestic space in any case. I mean, the new architecture is about performance. It's like you should be making the list of what are your requests about what you want that your city is doing, what you want that your neighborhood is doing, what you want that your building is doing. How many, do you want to produce all the energy that you need? Do you want to store all the water that you have around? Do you want to interact with the neighborhood? And then what I think, and we start to work like this in the project we did in Taiwan, we start to discover architecture again, because architecture has created very strong, in every 10 or 20 years, some strong statements about what architecture is and what architecture standard architecture is and what good architecture is. But if you only follow what architecture is, you will rediscover and redraw and recopy or whatever. We are really trying to think about the performance, and we are trying then to see what kind of forms, geometry we are able to develop, but without any, let's say, pre-assigned idea. No? What I like is to promote the social interaction. The idea that we should promote not people living in isolated cubes, but we should promote some interaction that we can see in the nature, we can see in the forest, where, I mean, sometimes the system makes that someone eat to each other, or sometimes the nature or the animals or whatever, they are collaborating to each other. We should try to collaborate in order to make a stronger societies, no? And that's why taking the principle that we see in the squares, in the cities, in the villages, what we like is to develop ideas and strategies to create this social interaction. So we like very much to produce a working model, because it's the way we are able to see what we are doing. We use like different software. Now we are in some specific structures. We are working with parametric software, trying to be hyper rational, promoting, let's say, these designs that can be very much connected with the nature and with the landscape and creating kind of complete and diverse habitats, no? So that's why what we do is to do a lot of drawings, models, experiments, and right now we are also developing prototypes of houses in the full size. We like also to promote projects, that means to push, not to win competitions that sometimes is really very difficult in some environments, but we like very much to promote projects, to invent projects, and to look for the developers and to the clients, and then try to start a project with a very big ambition. Right. Today, I mean, the big offices in the future will not be big, will be shared, will be distributed. We are learning from the internet paradigm in order to see how we organize companies. The idea of the big companies, I think, are over. This is part of the industrial time. In the internet time, we need other categories of companies and organizations. And that's why we right now 5 years ago we were much more people here, but this is not sustainable. So we prefer to have a very strong core of people that has been working and we have been collaborating during many time, and we have a lot of people from different disciplines. My architecture changed when we start to work with geologists, and we are working today with urban ecologists and with many other lawyers and many other people, anthropologists. And we like to think very radical about things. We don't like to think about architecture or what we see around or what is fashion today. What we like to think is about things that we don't know. We like to discover, and we are very near to be able to bring strong innovations to the real projects. We like to find good clients. Clients are crucial. Intelligent clients are crucial in order to do good projects, and maybe you need to invent a good client or you need to find a good client, but I don't like to spend time with bad clients. We have also partners in different parts around the world, in Iran, in Taiwan, etc. We like to work also with universities. We like to work with companies like Acciona or Endesa or others. So today an architect is not having like a flat position in the structure of the construction between client, companies, architects, collaborators. I mean, we are more like dots that we can talk directly to any person that we should, in order to be able to try to do the best project. So the best project will be those that are able to deal with the best configuration of teams in order to produce something. And we must do this in order to be able to do the best project with the less resources. Money today is crucial. Before, a good architecture was only based on huge amount of money. Obviously, to have resources is important, but we should be able to do good projects with not huge amount of resources. Yeah. Architecture in the future will be like architecture in the past. I mean, even if we need to redefine the form of the buildings, the functions of the buildings, the functions of the city, architecture is something, is a discipline that starts when a man decides not to live in a cave, but then to transform the nature with some material. We have been doing in every moment a lot of history using different strategies, and what we should do in the next years is to try not to build in the nature, but to build with the nature, to be in continuity with the nature, to try to be part of the nature. Architecture must be nature. And then we need to find the rules in order to do this. Another crucial thing is that architecture will be multi-scalar. I mean, those architects that are only able to make sport pavilions, from my point of view, are over. Architecture must be multi-scalar. Architecture must be part of a city. We should be able to design from a house to the whole planet. And then we should be able to see how our decisions are able to interact with other kind of decisions. Urbanism is over. Architecture is not over, but urbanism is over. Urbanism is a concept that was invented 150 years ago in Barcelona, by Cerdà, when they need to pull down the walls, and then they need to create a science about how to occupy the territory and how to create some structure for the living environment for people. But this idea of growing on the territory, just making an abstract grid in order to see the efficiency of what we build on it, is over completely. We are going to build now habitats. Our new science is the definition of the habitat, and we should have an approach that is multi-scalar, where every decision that we take in this small scale should interact also with a decision that is taken in the regional or the national scale. So that's why architects must be ready to deal with many questions at the same time. No? Maybe there will be some just technical people trying to solve some small questions. I like, obviously, to build everything. I like to understand every kind of building detail, but at the same time we should be able to have a vision about how we will live in the future. So architecture is a very old profession. We want to be part of it.